you check the children.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
And we're here to do a review for you guys. This wasn't requested by anyone. This is just one that Fuego and I wanted to get to.
It's an anniversary, 25th this year.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It also, there was I think last year it came out, there was a collector's edition Blu-ray that was the unrated version, right?
Yep, which had been, I think, on a couple VHS releases, maybe overseas and stuff, but had never seen a proper high-definition release. So here it is.
And I'm definitely glad I got this. It had been a while since I've seen the Mangler movies. I have seen them all, and I do think we should attempt to review them.
There's still the second one and then the prequel one.
Right.
Or it begins, or I can't
Something
remember.
like that, yeah. But this, I'm really glad to have revisited it again. It's some of these movies we do sometimes are ones that I just haven't seen in years, and getting a fresh perspective on it, and especially with all of the uncut material, I loved it. I'm a gore fan, and this is a gore fan's movie. The story is very, small, lean and mean. There's a laundry press and the big folding machine that, it irons out sheets and then folds them all up for everyone. It gets a taste of blood and starts to eat people, essentially. And I really enjoyed it because the effects went way further than I remembered them going. And so I was like, damn, this is an unrated cut, because even not having seen this in almost 20 years, I can tell that there's way more gore than I remember there being. So I really enjoyed this movie. I don't enjoy Robert Englund's character because that was ridiculous and over the top, but I enjoy everything else about this.
Yeah, this is definitely schlock at its most enjoyable, based on a Stephen King short story. The short story is actually very serious. This expands on certain ideas and adds some more mythology that it doesn't always work for me, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's gross. The kill at the end, without spoiling who it is disgusting, and I loved it. It's really a just dessert sort of situation. And I mean, the two lead actors though, man, they're something else. Their little dynamic is strange, but as a whole, Tobe Hooper, I mean, adapting a Stephen King short story, Robert Englund, despite the over the top performance, I mean, this is one that I feel like is aged better than some might think.
Yeah, I agree. So go ahead with the story, Fuego. I'll let you go with this one.
Yeah, so essentially there is this large, practical, disgusting looking laundry press that, I mean, this is back, great set design and stuff. And it gets its first taste for blood when this girl gets like a little cut and some of the blood goes through the press, and then lo and behold, that leads to older, like more experienced woman who's been there, who, being more experienced and everything, she shouldn't be trying to grab something that is going through the press, like there's, I don't know. Lo and behold, she gets sucked in there, splattered in a grotesque fashion, and the investigator who comes to, look into the situation and try to figure out what exactly happened, he thinks that there's some foul play afoot. I'm assuming his brother-in-law, I think that's what they addressed this expert guy that he's hanging out, having dinner and stuff all the time with and just chilling with. They start to investigate the situation collaboratively, and they feel like there could be some much darker forces involved with why this thing has this taste for blood. The B plot, unfortunately, which was not in the short story, is that Robert Englund is this character who he's the foreman at this laundromat or laundry press, like huge factory place, and he's like taking some of the young little vittles as his own, kind of seducing them with, just opportunity, and just kind of it's a Weinstein situation, just to really put it like that. And but then there's some additional mythology as to why virgin blood would be needed for this, and so that's where that stuff was not in the King short. That's where they brought some additional stuff in, and it's really as simple as that. It's these two guys in a race against time trying to figure out why this is doing what it is before more blood can be shed, really, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean, we might get a little bit spoilery at times because the story gets a little bit crazy towards the end, where the thing actually, becomes kind of sentient and starts chasing them around the building.
Actually,
like this giant laundry press.
In the short story, it breaks off of the bolts and it
Really?
goes through the town.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it just maul people going through it?
Well, it goes after specific people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, then they keep it more secluded than in the book, I guess. But it's over the top, but it's still a lot of fun. So I enjoy the story as simple as it is.
No, yeah, same. It's fun. I mean, the short, like I said, is significantly more serious, and it just makes a little bit more sense. Even though they delve into the mythology as to why this could have happened, it seems a little more plausible in the book. It's a little more over the top and silly in this, but and also England's reason for taking I don't know, without spoiling stuff. Yeah, it's still it's fun schlock over the top, like I said.
So let's talk about the acting. I actually like the main detective guy
I was
quite a
trying to
bit.
remember what I'd seen him in because he looked supremely familiar. And
He's been in was he not Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs?
Yes, that's who it was. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff at this point, but yeah,
And this was
I
right
liked
after
him as
he'd done Silence of the Lambs, and so now I remember some of the supplemental material where Englund was talking about how much he wanted to work with the guy because of his work on Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, so I actually enjoyed everyone, even the workers were appropriately skittish and scared and stuff like that. It's Robert Englund that's so over the top and hammy, and the old man makeup is so bad. Like, yeah, it's just so over the top, and he's got these leg braces on that sometimes he abides by the rules of what he'd do with leg braces and sometimes not. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, he says in the supplemental interviews and stuff that those were real braces, though, and so that he was in pain walking around in them constantly, that he didn't always sell it as well as he wanted to because he was, like, physically hurting. But, yeah, he's written so ridiculously over the top compared to the way that character is in the book. In the short story, it's actually based on this real foreman that King had when King worked in a laundry press place like this, and so his boss had actually got his hands stuck in. He lost both of his hands, and he had hooks for hands.
Jeez.
This boss of his, and so that's where he got the whole idea for this story, was because he had seen just the work of what a machine like this could do to somebody. So King's like, what if it pulled in a whole person as opposed to just their hands? So, but yeah, man, I mean, performances. The girl who England kind of manipulates into being his little droog, she's a little too much for me at times, and she's got her cackling, laughing, and stuff going on in the third act. But aside from that, yeah, the whole just blue collar workerness of a lot of those women in the factory, yeah, they sold it very well.
So let's get into the effects. It's shot well, actually. Just talking cinematography. Yeah, directed by Tobe Hooper, same guy behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you didn't know, amongst other things. Kind of
Poltergeist, although so many argue whether he
or Steven Spielberg did. Yeah, but very accomplished shot, very accomplished directing, very well shot movie. But the effects are where it's at for me, honestly. Yeah. Again, the whole machine, it's like two steamroller, wheels, essentially, where they feed the sheets in, and then it steams them all, and then it gets to the end, and it auto folds. Like, the parts of the machine come up and, like, fold over on each other and stuff like that.
And they built this whole thing, and it's huge, man.
Yeah. And so when the old lady goes in, you know what's going on, and like there's someone running along the side, like kind of waiting for her to finish, and then when you see the after, this is where a lot of the extra footage came in. I know, because they lingered on the flashes a lot longer, and you could see it was just an old lady just smushed and folded up over herself, and it looked every bit of it, and it was really, really awesome. Like, again, I know it's disturbing, but guys, there wasn't actually an old lady that got folded up like that. So I can separate, and I can appreciate the effects for what they were. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they're gross. I did not purposely watch the other version to compare and contrast. Why the hell would I want to watch the original version when this one's available now? And there's another folding where you actually, as opposed to cutting to seeing the folded finished product, at the end of the movie, you get to see someone folded, and it is gross and very satisfying, dare I say, my warped, tragic little mind here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
It's kind of on the level of seeing Judge Doom melt at the end of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'll give it that.
And like it's kind of can't really move otherwise. You know what I mean? A little bit of a bobblehead kind of thing, or what are those punching guys that you punch and they come back at you kind of thing?
And that character in
Weeble
the
Wobble, maybe.
supplemental stuff also talked about the immense amount of stress associated with selling that scene, because there was actual moving parts and stuff, and one of the scariest things that particular person had ever done. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that was actual
that
moving parts?
Yes, yeah.
Jesus.
He talked all about talked all about.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to watch that, because that would be unnerving to be that close to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, overall, the Mangler, does it hold up? In a lot of respects, yes. In some respects, no. But it's still a fun ride. It's not a super long movie, so I would say give it a try.
Yeah, especially if you're a Stephen King fan. I mean, come on, y'all. This is one of the lesser-known stories, and very short theatrical run, so it wasn't like a big hit or anything like that. So don't expect Shawshank or even like Pet Sematary or The Shining. But as far as like a gory good time, you will definitely find that here. Yeah.
So I think that's going to do it for our review of The Mangler. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the review, click the like button down there somewhere. Also, you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss further reviews going forward. But until then, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias to all our patrons. I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.